Hey guys, so today we're going to do another little design with me, and I wanted to redesign our Noire Squarespace template, which is traditionally like more of a dark and moody vibe, and I wanted to do like a really fun and bright design for this one. So we're going to be like really transforming it. I'm really excited about this one because I really want to see how far we can like push this template to be something completely different while still following the same structure of the template. So sticking with the template, but just changing the styles, like the colors, the fonts, and the images to make something completely different. So this here is our Noire template. And as you can see, it's kind of like dark and moody vibes. It's lots of like greens, black and white. And it's also set up to be for photographers. Like with all of our templates, you can put any of your own content in. It does not have to be for photographers at all. This was just how we designed this one originally. So I also want to change the content as well. So I want to see if we can make it work for a service provider, and I'm going to go for a social media manager. And I have sort of an idea in my head of what I want it to look like. Like I really want it to be really bright colors. I want to completely change the whole vibe, but also like I want to steer away from the photographer content just so I can make sure that this template really works well for all service providers and other types of small businesses and not just photographers. So this is the original, and then we also have already designed a couple of variations. So we've done this one here. This is like what we call Noire Neutral, which is just a variation we designed off camera, basically. And we didn't customize it too much, but we really just did like the fonts and colors and the overall vibe and tried to see how this might work for a jeweler. So something like this. So this would be more of an e-commerce, and it still looks really, really good. Like I love this version. You can obviously change the structure when you customize it for yourself, but just because we want to stick within the bounds of the template, because that's sort of the experiment that we're going for. We've just changed the styles and some of the content. And then for this one, we went for like a more masculine corporate vibe to, again, just really flip the template on its head and try something different. So this is what we came up with for that. Not my usual style, I'll be honest, but that's not the point of this. The point of this is so that we can show the template in lots of different variations. So this looks pretty good as well. Really nice and sleek and modern. And yeah, so then for the third version, I want to make something really bright and bold, like I said. Okay, so over in Canva, I have all of the original files that I need for this homepage redesign. And I have actually already gathered a bit of inspiration. So I went onto Pinterest and I grabbed just a few screenshots of some color palette and font combinations that were standing out to me. So I really like these. I don't even know where these are from. This is obviously a website. I'm not sure what this is, but I just saw the color combos and I was like, yeah, these are really good. There's obviously a lot of colors going on here, so we cannot use all of them. So we're going to have to come up with our own palette. But I just really liked the vibe of this, like these bright colors. I really want to use like probably some sort of purple. And then I really loved this like dark red with this sort of orange text on top. And I think what would be fun in this template is to incorporate colored text on a colored background rather than just like white and black text throughout. I think that can really bring a cool vibe. Like in this design here, you can see this sort of brown text. I really like that. Okay, so I also prepared this earlier. It only took me a couple minutes, but I just created some colors based on sort of these. I didn't pull them directly. Well, I pulled a couple of colors directly, maybe. Not really. I just pulled like the colors that I think I might want to use. There's probably too many here to use, and these are probably too similar. But I'm just gonna maybe like try one or the other and see what works. So we've got sort of like this lighter purple and this darker purple that I was gonna try. And then we've got like a beigey color, which I'll probably use for backgrounds, and then that dark brown. So that would be nice in backgrounds or in text. And then again, like a dark purple with like an orange on top. I think that will look quite cool with text. And then this sort of fluorescent yellowy green, which I really love. I'm not sure like exactly how we'll use that, but we'll try. So yeah, like I said, I'm not going to probably use all of these colors, but I do want to like use a lot of colors. And then if we go up to the original Noire color guide, so this is what comes with the template when you purchase it. Basically, we give you all of the colors that are in the template, and then you can figure out what your new palette will be and which color to replace with what. That didn't really make sense, but I think you know what I mean. And you can see with Noire, we've just got like a lot of greens. Like it's very green, everything's green. And there's not a whole lot of colors and there's not a whole lot of contrast. I mean, there's a bit of contrast, but it's all very same. So then with this new color palette, I've got more colors that I want to try out. And it's a huge range of colors. Like we've got pinks, we've got purples, we've got greens, we got red, orange, brown. So it's going to be a bit of fun to put this together, and I want to see how we can make it work. And I think like it's kind of a safe thing to use a color palette like this with all of these same hues, because you know sort of like everything's going to go with everything. It's a little bit more tricky to use a rainbow palette and make it look cohesive. I feel like a lot of sites go wrong when they are using a lot of color, because not every color in this palette is going to work well with another color. So you have to make sure to like pair up the right combos throughout the site, and also just like not overdo it. I think that is the key. So we'll see how we go. It's definitely a bit of an experiment because I've never created anything with this template using this many colors. So we have a color palette. The next thing I want to think about is fonts. So let's go back here to our template and think about fonts, and then also images as well. We'll gather some images together. So I think I want to go for like a relatively bold font, and then I'm thinking for the body or the accent, just something pretty simple. But also like I don't really know yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to this website, and this is a Squarespace font directory built by strongsites.co. You can go to it /Squarespace font directory. And this is something new that Strong Sites created out of the goodness of their heart. Thank you, Strong Sites. And it's basically just a place where you can go and scroll through the Squarespace fonts, and it's easier to do it here than it is to do it in Squarespace. You can do it in Squarespace, just in the site styles, obviously, and then going to fonts. And let's say we want to update our heading, we could go to headings and we could scroll through the fonts here. It's not too bad, but Strong Sites has made this really helpful tool that you can use where there's a few more filters, and also it's generally just faster. Like you can scroll through it faster and the previews are a bit bigger. So I'm finding it easier to use this. I am liking this tool. Ideally, there would be some more filters, and it's not super accurate. I think it's all done with AI, to be honest, but I've been finding it really useful. So now if we go back to our inspiration, there's very different fonts in both of these inspiration sites. So I'm not 100% sure what I want to use. We could use a cool serif like this, or we could go with like a chunky sans serif. I'm kind of leaning towards something more like this. And I'm really trying to not spend ages searching for fonts, because it can really, really take a long time, because there's literally thousands of fonts that you could scroll through if you wanted to. So I'm going to filter by category. This is cool because this is something that Squarespace doesn't have, right? And I'm going to look for display fonts first and just like see if we can find something. And usually what I do is I just like get out a doc and I just write down what ones that I might want to look at in Squarespace. So I might look at this one. So I'm going to type down Adlam display. It could potentially give me what I want, but it's hard to know from the display. So you do have to go over into the live site, I think, and check. So instead of going back and forth, I just type down the ones that I want to look at. Agbalumo. Then I go back and check them on Squarespace. I've already written a few down and I'm literally in the first page, which isn't a good sign. So I need to probably be a bit pickier, and I probably need to figure out like what I actually want. Actually, I shouldn't say I need to be pickier. I should say I need to be less picky and just like go with something that is like good enough, because man, I could literally be here all day. Okay, here's my list so far. I'm going to stop there, test these ones out. If there's any good ones, I'm just going to roll with it, because yeah, like I don't want to be here all day. So I'm going to go over to my site and I'm going to go site styles, headings. I'm just looking for the main heading font for now. And I'm going to type some of these in. So add lamb display. I'm also going to just take the text transformation off for now, just so I can see what the full font is like. And I'm going to remove the letter spacing. So I'm going to take that down to 0. Okay, that's okay. I'm going to put a little note next to that one and say, okay. I don't love it, but I could definitely make it work. Okay, this one's quite funky too, but I think it's like maybe a bit much for what I'm going for. Okay, Almac Refined. No, it's too like sharp. It's too sharp and it's a bit corporate looking. Again, I feel like I could make most of these work with what I'm looking for, but I don't love that either. It's like a little bit childish. Oh, yep, I quite like this one. I'm gonna put an OK next to this one. It's very thick. Is there different weights? No different weights. Okay, let's try Bellini. I do want something thick and like relatively bold. This is very cool, but it's a bit too much for this much text. It's a little bit hard to read. It is a very cool font though. Caprezimo. Oh yeah, okay. I kind of like that one too. It's got that good chunkiness that I'm looking for. Fenwick. This is nice. Oh, it does have different weights. I quite like this one actually. I like the shape of the letters. It's a little bit too much letter spacing though, so I wonder if we can just like reduce the letter spacing slightly. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one for now. I'm just gonna keep pushing forward, keep flowing through it. I like the shape of these letters. I really like the shape of the ampersand. Yeah, it's really basic, but it's a little bit different. It'll probably do for now. There's probably ones that are better, but I think I'm going to roll with this for now and see how it goes. We can always come back and change it too. And then for the body text, where we got some body text? Here. Okay. So we could roll with just leave what we've got. I'm actually sort of okay with that. For the sake of updating the template, let's update all the fonts. So I think I just want to go for something like really kind of modern basic, just like a simple Arial for this template. I think that will look good with the vision that I have in my head. And then for subheadings and stuff like this, I really want to use I'm not sure what you call them, mono fonts? Is that what you call them? I'm going to Google that. Yeah, I want to use some sort of font like this that kind of looks like a code font, you know? So let's see what we can find. So I'm going to put this into the miscellaneous font. Oops. Into fonts, miscellaneous, and then I've got it coded in so that it will change on the subheadings for the large paragraph and the heading 4. So if I update this miscellaneous, it should update all these little titles. Can I just type in mono? Oh yeah, okay. This is what I was looking for. I mean, they're all pretty same. I might make them uppercase and just a little bit of letter spacing. Yeah, I like how that looks. Okay, so I'm just kind of throwing some fonts in. I just sort of threw some fonts in and we're gonna just roll with it, see how it goes. But the great thing about the site styles is that we can just come back and change it if we're deciding that we are not liking it. With this template, I feel like these fonts will probably be fine for what I have in mind. I think the colors and the images, and we'll maybe make some little graphics as well. And I think that will be the standout thing. So keeping the fonts relatively simple. Now we can have a look at photos. So obviously these photos are not vibing with this sort of mood that I'm looking for here. So we need to source some images that are going to fit the mood. And also, like I said, I wanted to make this for a social media management agency. And if we could get some photos that represent what that business might use, that would be great too. So in my head, I'm thinking about going to Dupe Photos for this because Dupe has really good sort of casual, not super stock imagey. I don't want to do anything that's too posed or too professional, I guess. I kind of want to keep it more casual because it's that social media management agency vibe. I feel like it feels very user generated and it feels more approachable. It feels more on trend, which is obviously important for social media. So I think we can probably source some images from here. And of course, I want to keep in mind that I'm looking for those bright and bold images and things that are gonna look good with a bright color palette. I mean, the images don't need to be bright and bold themselves, but they do need to look good with this color palette that we're using. So I think I'm going to be able to source the majority of images that I want to use from here. Okay, so I'm going to just start by searching some stuff. I'm going to start by searching social and see what we can pull up for this. And I'm just going to go ahead and just start downloading. And I've got a folder in my files that I will save all of these to. They also do really cool videos as well. So we could potentially incorporate some videos, but I don't know. I'm trying to keep this like relatively quick and easy. And I think we can get really far with like these good images. If you're looking for photos as well, and there's one that you like, I recommend like clicking on it and then looking down under the similar content, because you'll find similar content, which can be really, really helpful. This is definitely like the right vibe that I was looking for. And I think this is all going to come together really nicely. And there's so many photos on here. Okay, I've gone through and I have gathered a bunch of photos. So these are the photos that I pulled. Bunch of random stuff. I just think they all look cool, and better to have more, like better to just have more to use. We probably won't use all of them. We can always come back and get more too if we don't have enough, or if we need like a specific image for a specific thing. But generally I like to just like grab a bunch of images to start and then see how far you can get with that. And then come back and get specific things if you need to later. Okay, so we've got colors, fonts, and images. Those are like the 3 things for the design that we need. I also want to update the copy on this. So what we can do is, for this version, I'm going to just use ChatGPT to help me write some demo copy for this example. But this is also really handy if you're doing your own site too. And we have recently started including this with our templates. So when you buy this template, you're going to get like an AI guide that will help you take your business information and your brand voice, and then the structure of the template, so the copy in the template, and you can put that into ChatGPT, and we've got all the prompts set up and everything so that it will return copy for you in your brand voice with the information that you need to include based on how the template is structured. So a lot of the times it is hard when using a template to figure out how to structure your content within that template. And this just makes it really, really easy. So I took that guide and I put it into ChatGPT, and it basically just like churned out exactly what I needed for this project. Obviously, this is a little bit easier because it's a fake client. So I'm not getting very picky with the copy and I'm not refining it very much. But still, I think overall, this is a great way to do it. So I'm going to go through and add in the copy that ChatGPT gave me, and I'll just like sort of whiz through and do that now. I'm just copy and pasting it from ChatGPT. So basically just taking this, what once was a photographer or copy that was sort of based on photographers, to be more specific to a social media manager company. But again, still working with the exact like template. So just seeing how this content can fit within this Noire template. So we've got content strategy, we've got influencer partnerships, and we've got social media management. As I'm putting this copy in, things are moving around a little bit, but that's fine. I'm going to come through and, obviously finalize each one of these sections. So we're going to put like a free resource, and this will be 30 days of social content ideas. This will be on the blog. We can even put in some like fake testimonials in this testimonial slider, just to, take it all the way. It's always fun. All right, I'm putting this last bit in for the about text. And I'll just leave the footer as is. Okay, so now we've got everything. We've got our copy in, we've got images selected, we've got colors selected and font selected. Now we're going to go through and design section by section, basically. And we'll just see how we go with this. First, I'm going to basically just implement colors and photos, and then I'll like do layout tweaks and see like little extra things that we can do to make it work. So, okay, let's do colors first. And this is going to be a little bit tricky because we obviously have a lot more colors than the original Noire template. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into site styles, and I'm going to go into colors, and I'm going to set up the color palette. So I can only do like 3 colors here. I do want to keep the white and I do want to keep the black. So I'm going to put 3 colors in. Basically, I'm going to choose 3 of these, and it probably doesn't really matter which ones I choose. And then from there, I'm going to implement the extra colors into the color themes. So you can only put, 3 to 5 colors within the color palette. But if you do want to bring more colors in, all you need to do is just manually put them into these extra themes. So let's start by putting some colors in the palette. So I think I'm going to go, what have I got here? So I'm going to use one of the dark colors. Maybe for the black, I'll actually use like this really dark brown, and let's see how that goes. Hopefully that doesn't like mess anything up and like take out too much black from the template, but I can always change it back to black if it does. And then for this secondary dark color, I'll do the dark red because I'm really liking that. I definitely want to use that a bit around the site. Okay, this is obviously looking crazy right now, but just bear with me because I'll change all of that. Okay, what else? For this color, let's use a bright one. So one of the purples, I'm kind of leaning more towards this brighter or lighter purple. So let's try this one. I'm just going to copy the hex code over, paste it in here. And then we'll do another light color. I'll probably go with this. This is the other, like the lightest version or the lightest color that we've got for the site. And okay, well, that's okay so far. Yeah, so as you scroll down now, this is going to start looking pretty wild. And we just need to assign the colors differently on the page, and that's totally fine. Now, I do want to actually add a few more colors because I know for sure that at some point I probably want to use the rest of these colors as background colors. So I'm going to go through and put them in now. And so then they're all done and I know I can use them. So we've got this bright purple as a background color. We've got the light color. And you can also see here, there's like a bit of a hangover from the Noire template. There's these other dark green colors. So for these ones, I'm actually just going to click edit. I'm going to scroll to the bottom and I'm going to reset color theme. And that's going to reset. So I just did the light too. You can see it's changed now to the this light color that we have. I'm just going to reset it because I wanted to like remove the Noire colors from there. And then also for the lightest two, this one looks like it could do with a reset. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom, reset, and okay. So now I think we're looking at basically all of the palettes. They don't seem to be affected by any of the original Noire colors now. So what I want to do is I want to make some palettes that have these background colors. So let's say I want to do this purple as a background color for one theme. So I'm going to copy the hex code for this purple and we'll make it one of the dark ones or something that's got, I suppose it doesn't really matter. We could do it. We've got darkest one there. Let's make it darkest 2 and we can put in a custom color. So I'm just going to use the custom to change the background color and the background overlay. I don't actually mind that light purple text on the dark purple background, so I'll just leave that for now. And then again, we can always come back and tweak it further. So now you can see we've got the nice dark purple here as an option. We've got 2 dark reds. So let me change one of the dark reds. And I will use, well, actually, I don't even know. I think that's all the dark ones we need. I could put the orange in, but we could use one of the light ones too. So we've got white, purple, red, brown, and beige. Yeah, maybe let's change this dark 2 to the orange so that we can have one with an orange background. So I'm just going to change the section backgrounds, paste in that orange. And then for this one, obviously that purple does not look good on the orange. So what I'll do is I'll change all of the text colors to white. So now, now we should have the orange with the white text on it, which looks pretty good. I also kind of want to do a pink background and I also just want to do like this fluoro yellow background too. So I will use one of the lights. I'll use this light 2. Doesn't really matter what one you use, but I'm just going for the one that already has the dark text on top of it. And that looks good and that will do for now. So now we've got a pink background and let's do the fluoro yellow too in case you want to use that. I probably won't use all of these color themes on this page, but again, like just easy to put them in and so you have them as the option. I'll use lightest 2 for this one. So I'm just going to paste in that fluoro hex code for the backgrounds. Okay, so we've got our white, we've got a purple, dark red, dark brown, fluoro, beige, pink, black, orange, purple. So I think that's pretty much all the colors. That's all of the colors that I wanted to use. And also that's basically all of our color themes used up. So if you did want to do any other background colors, at this point you would have to code it in, but surely this is enough. Like surely this is enough color. I don't think anyone needs more than this. So let's roll with this for now. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go onto the page and I'm going to start working section by section, and I'm going to start replacing images and tweaking colors to see if I can like make things look better, because obviously the color themes going on right now aren't super cute. So I would like to have like, okay, let's just change the colors for this section here. Okay, and do I change these images out? Let's change these images out and also remove the red overlay. So I'm just gonna like drag in some random images. It might be a little bit busy, but we'll see. Okay, this is kind of cool. It might be nice to add like a sort of a beige overlay here onto this image. And then I would do the same thing, of course, for this image here. So I'm just going into the image settings and adding in like this beige overlay. Okay, it's looking very beige and brown right now, which is not what I'm going for. So let's change the color of the site header. So I'm going to click on Edit Site Header, Edit Design, Color, and I want to make it like purple, I think. I think that's what I want to do. And we could have like maybe like a fluorescent yellow button, which would be kind of fun. I'm also going to remove this logo because this logo isn't really relevant for this site. So I'm just going to delete it. And I'm just going to type in Noire in our font. And what else? Maybe like what else can we customize for this menu? Maybe adding like a nice small border. Okay. I'll come back to this because I still need to update this button and update these fonts. But we can do that as we work our way through, I think, like doing the final design stuff. Okay, I think this actually looks kind of cool, but I don't think the text is readable enough. So I was thinking about maybe like putting like a white box behind it or like a white oval behind it. So let's try that. It's obviously really important that the hero, like the text on your hero section is really readable. And I kind of like the colors that are going on. Like I kind of like the brown and I like the sort of beige background, but yeah, I think maybe a background behind this. So I'm going to like click on the text box and then click on Style Background, add a background, and then potentially like give it a big radius like this. And we can adjust the padding, small. I don't know, I might do like a custom padding because I feel like sometimes I like it to be like slightly off, a little bit less on the top and bottom, a little bit more on the sides. Okay, maybe a stroke. The thing about the original Noire template is we had these like lines throughout. So it'd be kind of cool to keep that working like throughout, just to like keep an essence of the original because we're obviously going to be changing it so much. So if I change this line here to black maybe, or brown, and then if I send it backwards, and then these got bumped down, so I'll just move them back up. Maybe I'll move this out a little bit. It's a little bit cramped. Just adjust the sizing and spacing a bit. Maybe out one more. It's feeling a little bit like big and intrusive maybe, but we'll see. We'll see. Something that's instantly bothering me though is the line, like the stroke that I added to this header. It's not the same width as the stroke, the rest of the strokes that are on the Noire template. So I'm going to go back to the header really quickly, edit the design and change the border to medium. It's really hard to see the stroke. Yeah, I think medium. Oh no, medium is like way too big. Okay, I might have to just like do a custom size. So let's go back in, border, maybe it's like 2 pixels. It's impossible to see because it's got like the selection box around it. Okay, that's better. So now we've got sort of like the right sizing there. Okay, the thing that I was potentially thinking about doing if I had the white behind this was maybe taking a bit of inspiration from like this header here and doing a couple of like highlighted bits of text, which I think could look quite cool. And we could do it in our pink and our fluorescent yellow or whatever it is. So let's try that. Maybe we'll do like stand out. And then we can use this highlight tool. So in the text toolbar, you can click highlight, and then we'll do like the background version. And we can't select our yellow from here, but we can do a custom. So I'm just going to pop back into Canva, copy that hex code again, and paste it in. And yeah, it's kind of cool. And also you can turn on animation, so it animates like that, which is really nice. And maybe scroll stopping. We'll do that. Again, we can't grab our pink, so we'll go to Canva, grab the hex code for the pink, and I will go custom and then paste it in. And then I want to turn on the animation for that as well. Okay, I think that has like definitely brought it to life a bit more. It was a little bit dull, but I think now we're really getting like the brightness that I wanted to. And we have like really kept with the original theme. We haven't really changed it much at all. The only main thing we did here was we just obviously changed all the colors and the fonts, but we just added this background to the text. Otherwise it looks like it's got the original essence. I'm not sure if I like this stroke down the middle. I might actually just remove it. I think I like it better without. Okay, I like that for now. I'm not like crazy about it, but let's just see how the rest of it comes together and then we can decide. I think once I fix the fonts as well in this header, that will make a bit more of a difference too. Okay, so this next section, you can see it's still like green and still very much in the noir theme, because this section is actually just like one big image, and we edit this in Canva with graphics. So I'm going to go over to Canva, and this is the graphic here that we want to use. So basically this graphic here is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 images. And it's just giving the illusion that it's like scrolling through the images, but actually all it is like a full slideshow and the images are moving through. So the graphic for that is in Canva here, and it's basically all set up ready to customize. It's just important that obviously as you go through, you make sure you put the images in the right slots, and then you'll get that proper illusion of it moving across. So what we need to do is we need to change the color. I'm thinking of like using the red and the orange. You know how I talked about really liking like this combination, the red with the sort of orange color on top of it. I think I want to do that for this. And so we're just going to jump into like a really bold, bright section. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change all of the green in this document to, I'm going to copy over this color. And now that color will be in the document. I can click on this color, change it to the red, and then click change all. And then for the text, obviously I want to change the font. And I'm thinking about using like a mono again, a mono type. Instead of using this, I don't know if I'll be able to find this font in Canva. Honestly, I probably won't. And I actually just like quite like the mono style. And we obviously are using it throughout. So something like this would be quite cool. And instead of gallery, I'm going to write clients for this one because I think that makes more sense for a social media manager. So it could be like a preview of clients or projects. It could also say projects. So I'm going to write in here client, and then I'm going to play around with the font. So I'm going to search mono again because I just feel like this is going to be the easiest way to find what I'm looking for. It probably does. We probably don't have the exact same one. Actually, don't even remember what the font that we're using is called. It is called DM Mono, and it is not in Canva, but they do have lots of different monos, and most people won't even be able to tell the difference. So I'm just going to rock with Roboto Mono maybe. And I'm going to type here clients. I'm going to put it down a little bit so it's still like overlapping so we get that effect. That's sort of the whole point. And then I want to make this word orange. I want to do that sort of like orange combination. So I'm going to bring in the orange. I'm going to change the text to this orange, and I'm going to copy this and then paste it on every slide, just so I know that it's exactly lined up. So the key with this gallery effect is to make sure the text is lined up too, because if the text is slightly misaligned for any reason, then when the gallery moves across, the text will jump around, and that's going to sort of break the illusion. I also want to make sure it's sitting behind the images, so I'm going to send it to the back by using my shortcut, or you can right click and go layer send to back. Or I guess you don't want to send it behind the red. On Mac, I'm just using command curly bracket to send it back. But I just want to make sure that it's behind the images. Okay, so that's all ready to go. And then I'm thinking for this, obviously we're going to put in some photos. I'm thinking about removing these lines, which are like just little graphic elements that we are using in Noire. And maybe adding some like little stickers, maybe like little flowers or little badges. I think that could be quite fun. So I'm just going to go through and delete these lines on everyone. So I'm just going through and removing all of the lines, being thorough so I don't leave anything hanging over. And then I'm just going to start inputting photos. So obviously I've got all of those photos in here, and I'm just going to start dragging some in. So like I said before, the key with this is to make sure you're putting the same images in the same slots. Otherwise, you're going to lose the illusion of the rotating images. So I'm going to put this girl in here, and I'm going to go through and do that consistently into that same image slot for every single slide. No, she goes in here, and then she goes in here. So she's like moving across. So next to her, I'm going to put these strawberries, and I'm going to just make sure they're in the same spot every single time. And if they're in the same frame, we've made sure the frames are the same sizes, so it'll be cropped the same. If you do want to crop the image differently, so for example, let's say for this one, I actually want to lift it up from the bottom a little bit, and I want to adjust the spacing so the hand is in it like that. You'd have to do that for all of them, right? So the best way to make sure it's consistent is I'm just going to copy this image, and then I'm going to go down to this slide here. I'm going to paste it and position it directly where this one is, and I'm going to delete the one below it. So I'd go through and I'd do that for everyone, and that's just going to like help you position it right. And so you don't have to go through and like reposition this and crop this every single time. It's easiest just to copy the one from the original and paste it in. Okay, so I've got 2 images in. I'm going to continue through and just like plonk images in there. Okay, my images are in, and I think I'm really happy with how this looks. I'm loving the images with the colors. It definitely looks different than the original, which is what we're aiming for. And I think there's like a really good cohesiveness going on with these images and these colors. The last thing I'm thinking about doing for this, just to like zhuzh it up a little bit more, is to add a few little stickers to make it look maybe a little bit more collagey. So I actually found this little flower icon in Canva, which I really like, and I made a pink version and an orange version. And then I went ahead and made like these little badges, which I think might be cuter on the site too. It literally just says social media management, which is very basic. So it's just text with that Roboto Mono font, and I used the curved effect to make it go into a circle. And then of course I've put the little flower in the middle of the circle, and I've made it different colors, made a few different colored versions. So I think these are really cute, and I would like to use maybe some of these throughout the site, but definitely on this slideshow that we're working on now. So maybe we'll go with the purple one. I think honestly any of them will look good, but I think the purple will stand out really nicely on this dark red. I'm going to make it a bit smaller, and I suppose we could put it like here, and then maybe this pink flower we could put, and I'll make it a bit smaller, but we could put it like down, maybe down here or something. Now I could either leave these static and like keep them in the same spot every time so that the photos are moving underneath them. In that case, they might look better like attached to the text because the text also isn't moving. But I think I also want to like have them move with the images, so it's like they're stuck on the images. So to achieve that, I want to make sure that I'm putting the sticker in like roughly at least a similar place every time it moves. So you could do it manually. You could paste it in and just like Okay, like that's pretty close. I'm gonna paste it in again. That's pretty close. So I'm putting it on the corner of this graphic every time. Doing it like that is fine. Or if you want to get like really specific with it, which you don't really have to do, it won't be that noticeable because it is moving. So if it's going to be slightly off, it doesn't really matter. But if you want to get really specific with it, you'd copy the image with the graphic and then you can position it like perfectly. And then you can just go ahead and delete that image. So that would be like positioned exactly the same as this one is. Okay, so I've just added all of those in and I'm happy with how this looks. I think this is going to look quite good. I'll just finish this last one here, which I missed. Cool. And so now I'm going to download these. I'm probably just going to download them as JPEGs, but I'm going to make sure the quality is quite high because these ones are going to be like full width and quite large. So I don't want them to be pixelated because they're going to be blown up pretty big. So I'm going to download them as 100% JPEGs and hopefully that looks pretty good. And I'm going to download all the pages. I'm going to make sure they're in my files. So I've downloaded them here. This is what they look like. If I cycle through them, they look pretty good. And I'm going to upload them. So what I want to do here is I want to click edit on the actual page. I want to click edit gallery and then I'm going to shift and select all of the images that are in here, delete them all. And then I'm going to drag in my new gallery graphics and they should just go in order, assuming that you have them labeled in your files in order. They should go in order, but it'll be pretty obvious if something is out of order. You can just click on them here and you can cycle through them here if you want to check. But yeah, this is how it looks. And I think it looks pretty cool. I think it looks pretty cool. We'll just keep working through. And of course, if we want to go back and change it, we can, but I think that looks good for now. So this section here is sort of a follow on from this one. So I want to make sure that we're using the red background so it matches. And there does seem to be like some sort of purple line here. I'm not sure what that is. So let me just check. Oh, it's because this section is set to purple. So I'm going to just change the background color to red as well. Okay, so now we've got a really nice like flow on here. And that's pretty cool. I'm going to leave it like that for now. I might change this into a button, but I think I'm going to probably change some of the CTAs into buttons instead of just text. That's just going to help us bring more like bold bits of color into the template. But for now, I think that's pretty cool. Okay, this section, I think we definitely need to change the background color. And I'm not sure if we even need an image in this section. I'm kind of thinking like, obviously this was quite busy. And then we have the images in the background here. So maybe I'm thinking just like a nice plain sort of beige color like this. That seems a bit boring. We could potentially add, we have this line here. So we could potentially add the line, which is going to bring like a little bit of something to it. And then we could potentially add a couple of our little badges again. I'm not sure. I think I'll come back to this one. I'm thinking maybe just a plain one there because these have been so busy. So maybe just like a bit of a visual break. I think I know what I'm going to do for this section. This is like quite an easy section for me. So let's move on to this. And I think let's come back to this one and we'll see how we go. Right. So for this one, we need to change out the images. We need to change the colors and we need to change this background graphic, which is again, something that is created in Canva. So first I'm going to just delete the background. And I'm going to experiment with a few colors here. I don't want to do red because we just did red. We could potentially do purple. Let's try brown. I think I'm kind of leaning towards the brown. I think it follows on nicely from this sort of beige color. And we will switch out these images. So I'm going to add in some images and see if that brown actually does look good. Yeah, okay. I think I'm quite liking this. Obviously, we need to update that graphic so we've got like some text down the side, which I think will like make this section a bit more exciting. But I think overall this looks pretty good. Just make a little bit of space here. And I might just move this all down a little bit. And then we've got this line here. Again, not sure if we need the lines everywhere, but we'll just leave them for now. And I want to get on to making this background graphic. So let's head back to Canva and let's open up this background graphic here. So this is the one we were looking for, services. So I want to make it brown. I think I've decided on brown. So I'm going to just change this to brown. And then I want to make this text, I want to do it like in the same style as we did for this one. So I'm actually just going to copy this client's. I'm going to paste it in and I'm going to like put it in the same position. Let's write in services and I'm going to make it bigger. So like a similar size to what is on here. And I think I'm going to have it like really like stuck to the edge like that. So it's more of a graphic. Then, I don't know, it looks a bit funny down here, I think. So I want to kind of like just have it all the way out to the side. And we could rock the orange. What are we thinking for colors? Brown. What would look nice with the brown? I think the purple could look quite nice on the brown. The orange does look okay. I'm actually really loving like the brown and the sort of baby pink. I think that might look kind of cool. So maybe we can try that out. I'll just bring the pink over. I am quite liking that. It's kind of nostalgic for me. I feel like this was a really big color in the early 2000s, like a really big color combo. The sort of chocolate brown and baby pink. Yeah, it's kind of fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it out. So let's go ahead and download it. I'm going to download this as a JPEG, again, high quality because it's going to be a pretty big image. And I'm going to just download this single file. Then I'm going to upload it. And I'm going to make sure I change the focal point to where it was in the original template, which was in the top right, which means that the actual graphic is going to be seen. If I move it down here, you won't see the graphic. So I'm going to change it to the top right. And I think it looks really cool. I really am liking the pink and brown combo. I think that was a good choice. It's quite like in your face. In the original template, the services down the side is very subtle, but I think it looks pretty good. The other thing I kind of want to do to this section is change the white text to this beige color because I feel like the white on the brown is like a little bit much. So I'm going to go back to site styles and go into colors, and then I'm going to go into the darkest one theme, and I'm going to go down to the text, and I'm going to change all of the text to this like beige color that we have, and I want to see what that looks like. It's very similar. You might not even be able to tell the difference on video, but I think it looks a bit nicer. It's a bit less harsh. Like the white on the brown was a bit harsh. I think like the slight beige color is quite nice on the brown. Okay, I think this section is looking pretty good. Let's move on to this one. Now this one could either be really bright or let's see, what else do we got? It's like, I want to measure out the amount of sections I've got left to see what ones I want to do bright and what ones I want to do more subtle. I'm going to go through and I'm going to just play around with some colors. I'm going to just delete the background image there. This could potentially be like, I'll delete the background image for this one too, just for now. And then of course we have to edit this one in Canva because it's a graphic. But just to like, I'm trying to get an idea of like how I want the colors to be laid out. I don't want to do like colorful section. I kind of like to break it up with a bit of this beige. And I think the fun thing we can do, like this obviously looks like a very boring section right now, but we're going to have text on the side, which should be colored. We could like make this text colored and then we could change the CTAs into buttons, which should be colored. So you're still getting like a good amount of color, but it's not like assaulting your eyeballs with like color every section. I'm not digging this as a background color. Maybe just leave it as an accent color. I quite like that with the purple with the brown text. I think that looks quite nice. Okay, let's just roll with this for now. I'm going to add more color using the pictures and using the fonts and using the buttons. Okay, so I've actually just gone in and updated button styles. So because like I was saying, I want to use some more buttons. So I might replace like these CTAs with buttons. I've used basically the same button style for every single button, primary, secondary, and tertiary. And I have added some colors, like tweaked the colors in the color themes for each button. So for example, let's go into here and put a button here. And so this one is purple. Do I want this one to be purple? Yeah, I think the purple looks good. I'm gonna add in view all galleries, and I'm gonna delete this text. Actually, I'm going to do view all projects because that just makes more sense for a social media manager. I'm just going to tweak the spacing here. And yeah, I think that looks good. So I think that like that button, it kind of goes with the stickers and stuff. So I'm going to go through and add buttons where there should, like where there's current CTAs. I tweaked the site styles for this form button too. So I think even just that brings a lot of color and fun to this relatively simple section. And then I'll change out the images too, so it makes it a bit brighter. What else? Okay, so we've got a view all button here. Let's add a button here. And then for on this purple, I made it the bright yellow, which I think looks really nice up against the purple. And so I think that gives this section a bit more excitement too. And in this last section, we can put a button here as well. I know I'm sort of jumping around the sections at the moment, but I'm just like putting buttons in at the moment. So I just wanted to see like what the buttons looked like, because I kind of felt like they were going to give us, I kind of feel like they're going to give us like more color in these more boring sections. And it's solidifying my reasoning for having sort of like a more of a beige background color. This one can be learn more. And I think the purple looks nice there. And then we could also like potentially bring in like a colored text here as well to really make it a bit more exciting. Maybe a dark purple or the orange. Let's see what the orange looks like. Let's see if it's readable enough. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then when we have the graphic here and change out the images, I think that's going to look pretty fun. Okay, anyway, let's go back up and let's switch out this graphic. So I'm going to come over to Canva, open up the phone graphic. I'm going to put some fun images in it, whatever that might sort of like suit our template. I'm going to download this one as a PNG. So I'm going to download PNG because I want it to have this transparent background. And I will compress it. Otherwise, the PNGs can be quite large. So I'm going to go ahead and download it. Then I'm going to double click on this one, delete it, and upload the new graphic. Cool. I think that looks really nice, actually. I just might expand this a little bit so the title doesn't stack as much. And just maybe make this whole thing a bit smaller. Cool. That looks really good. I like it. It's simple, but I think simple is good. For the blog, I'm honestly pretty happy with this section. Of course, we need to replace images for the individual blog posts because these are very like noir themed, like the original dark and moody. So we need to replace those images, but I will do that separately. That like I'll need to actually replace those on the blog because those are blog thumbnails. For this section, we need to update the background image again. So same thing again, I'm going to go into Canva. I'm going to find the graphic I need. I think it's this one, reviews. And I'm enjoying this like red color again, using it again. So let's just put it in. And then let's use this font again. So this mono font. And do I want it to say reviews? Yeah, I think reviews is good. I'm going to position it similarly to how the other one is positioned. And in terms of colors, I think because this one like sits behind, like on the original template, this reviews sort of sits behind the reviews. So I don't want it to be too bright because then it's going to make it hard to actually read the review. So I actually want this one to be quite subtle. So we need to find something from our color palette that is subtle on the red. So we could either maybe do the brown or we could do the purple. Let's try both of those. Okay, so this is what the brown would look like. I think that looks quite nice. That's like you'd still be able to clearly see like white text on top of that. Or we could do the purple. Oh, I kind of like that. It's a bit different. It's kind of like, it's interesting on the eyes, but I think it'll be like nice and subtle in the background. So let's try that. Okay, that one's been uploaded and I think that looks pretty cool actually. It's really bold, but it's like still subtle enough that it makes it easy to read the testimonial over top. I'm also just going to tweak the spacing here a little bit. So I'm going to go edit section. Oh, sorry. No, I'm not. I'm going to go edit content and then I'm going to go under design, size and space. And I just want to change the spacing a little bit, but change that, change that. Okay, I think that looks a bit better. And I'm going to call that good for now. And let's work on the final section. So again, for this section, we do have a background image here that we can use. So I'm going to just do the same thing, use that same font. I think I might do it in like a pink because we've got the orange and the purple here. Either a pink or the fluoro yellow. And then I'm going to swap out these images too. Okay, so I did the Who background in pink, which I really like. And then I just switched out the images and then I removed that line as well because I just don't think we need it. I think the combo of the pink and the orange and the purple and the brown text on the beige background just looks really cool with those two images. So I'm happy as with that section. I think that looks perfect. So I'm mostly happy with all of these sections. I think I want to, let's go back to this section and just remove this line and let's add a couple of images. And I'm going to add a couple of those little graphics that I was thinking of. Maybe like this orange flower, and maybe I could do this same badge again. And we could like put them sort of off to the side. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. I like that there's not another background image or like a bright background color, but it's still like there's still something fun going on here. Okay, let's have a full scroll through and see what we think. Let's do a proper preview. Okay, I like it. I think it looks really good. So you'll notice that I updated the fonts in the header as well. So I just changed them to be the same as like our subheading font. And I tweaked the button as well in the header. I just did all of that in the site styles. That was really easy to do. And I think it's made like the header look way more cohesive. Is there anything else that I want to do? Okay, I just zoomed through and did final tweaks. So this is the finished design. I ended up just going for one background image in this header section instead of the two we had before. I don't really know why. I think both of those options look good, but I just tried the one with the disco ball and I was like, I think I'm vibing with this one a little bit more. A very minor tweak that really probably didn't need to happen. I just edited the spacing a little bit. This is all the same as it was. I haven't really changed anything here. I think all of this looks really cool. I really like it. Oh, I updated the images for the blog, so that immediately looks better and more on brand. So this section has like come together really nicely, I think. This section is the same. So this is our reviews section, which looks really good. And the final section here. Oh, and I tweaked the footer. All I did was just remove the line that was in there, and then I updated the Instagram graphics, even though they're fake Instagram graphics. I just thought like it's nice to have that all sort of to tie everything together in the footer. So yeah, this is the final site. I think it looks really good. Oh, and I also did one more thing. I zoomed through and I made sure everything was looking good on mobile, which really didn't take much work because we didn't stray from the original template much at all. So basically everything was pretty much set up anyway. So I just had just tweaked the sizing of this initial section just because I'd made most changes to this. But otherwise, here's a quick preview of what it looks like on mobile, which honestly is like just as cute. I love it on mobile as well. Yeah, so cute. So, oh, let me just fix this. This is a little bit too much space here. Perfect. Okay, so if you do want to look at this live site, you can. You just need to go to noire-bold.squarespace.com. I'll also link it below the video. So if you want to check out what it actually looks like live, because it always looks better live. It's always more fun live. So have a look at it. If you are interested in our Noire Squarespace template at all, just head to our website, bigcatcreative.com, or we've linked the template below and also all of our other templates. There's plenty of templates to choose from if you're interested. Hopefully this was a fun design with me video. I just kind of wanted to zoom through and show you a bit of my process and also just show you how easy it is to edit our templates and how you can take something that is very much one style and make it very much another style. So a final comparison from the original template here to what we just created, which is so different, but also just as good. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you've got any questions about our templates as well, feel free to drop them in the comments below or flick us a message. We would love to chat about them and help you decide if a template's going to be right for you or help you choose the right one for you. So hopefully I see you in the next video.